Thanks. Thanks, Pooja. Hey guys, Tim is off today, so unfortunately I'm the host of this call. Welcome to the Dencun Interop testing call number 30. Hopefully Tim will be back next week for you, Barnabas. Agenda looks pretty light, but I would like to hear what's going on with DevNet 8. Does anybody want to share an update? I noticed there's been some chatter in the Interop channel.
Yeah, I can give a quick update. So this morning we saw some Bezu issues and Ethereum JS issues. So both of these clients seem to had some issue syncing up to head. Bezu had some trouble with the blob hashes and transaction hashes where it could not propose a block because they had some mismatched hash. Maybe someone from Bezu can give an update. I'm not sure. Is anyone here from Bezu? Doesn't seem like
Yeah,
it.
it doesn't seem like it.
No, but they pushed out an update and it seemed to have fixed the issue. So now they are up to head, and also they seem to be able to propose again.
Great. And the ETH.js issue? Is that still being investigated?
Yes.
Gajinder,
This
maybe?
issue was mostly related to sync, and basically, generally, what really happens is that ETH.js sync is not really production quality, and we are working on it, but sometimes gets stuck, and one needs to sort of restart the client or resync the client, and that gets it resolved. That was the main problem, but the other problem that I noticed was with regard to forkmon, because forkmon, for example, at certain blocks shows that ETH.js has a different block hash than the other clients. And when I sort of did get block by number on ETH.js as well as other clients, so that hash was matching. So there is also there is another issue that we discovered in Forkmon with Barnabas, is that the hashes that Forkmon is showing does not correspond to the actual block hash that is over there. So there is a variance in what Forkmon is showing as well as what the actual block hashes are. As well as the second issue with Forkmon is that for the same block for each JS, if you do get blocked by a number, then the hash is correct and is matching with what other clients do get blocked by number. But somehow I'm not sure how Forkmon is collecting that data and where the issue is.
Okay, got it. Yeah, you reported these issues to Forkmon?
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe this week. It's not really urgent because in generally it still shows that there's a mismatch, but just showing the wrong hash.
Yep, got it. Cool. How did the DevNet look last week? I noticed there was, somebody had posted an image of the beacon chain website, and there was a period where we were missing a lot of blocks. Is that the same issue that has sort of been resolved, or that was a different thing?
Last week we did have issues. I don't think we had issues last week.
Oh, I thought that. Sorry, I thought that someone had posted an image of the DevNet 8 beacon chain missing like 50% of blocks for a period of time.
No, it was a specific client. It wasn't like all clients. It was one specific pair that was not. I think it was Bezu. So the Bezu fix is now, sort of resolved. Lighthouse still has some issues proposing blocks, but we'll see.
Makes sense.
I'm trying to get someone into the call from Bezu right now.
Okay. Let's circle back to that if somebody pops into the call. There's another issue with pool transaction message RLP encoding. Is this similar to what we discussed a while back with the ETH 68 release and changing it for the future? Or is this a
No, it's
different
different. Yeah.
transaction? Do you know which clients are sending which ones? Is it the list versus wrapped issue?
Maybe we have different encodings, Nethermind and Pencil. And I saw a similar issue in Haftes for gas.
So all three clients have different encoding here.
Maybe Bethel copied it from gas, or maybe something. Maybe we have three versions, maybe two. Sure.
Are you just referring to the test that's failing on Hive Cancun, or are you talking about
Yeah.
something you're seeing specifically? Because I know the test that's failing for us on Hive Cancun is due to fork ID mismatch, which, yeah, that's something that there's a PR to fix right now. I don't think it has to do with the RLP encoding.
Let me find and post in the chat. And as for Beth and Nethermind, we see it from the logs.
Okay.
The logs.
I think Barnabas or Mario, your audio is really low. Oh, it looks like Mario. Yeah, I can't hear you very well. Good morning, Terrence.
Good morning. Sorry I'm late. I almost forgot there's a meeting today.
It's a holiday.
Yeah.
You're forgiven. Okay, so there is the RLP was not part of the last PR. Cool. Yeah, just post on Interop if there's something specific we want to continue discussing about that. Was there any other DevNet 8 related things that people wanted to discuss?
Could we merge 398? It's been open for quite a while.
It would be nice to
Excavator.
merge that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll look into that today.
And is there a timeline for DevNet 9 that clients would like to push for?
Yeah, that's what I was also kind of curious about. I mean, just from like Geth's perspective, I feel, maybe next week we could have everything ready for DevNet 9. But yeah, Merrick.
Yeah, so we want to test syncing with all different client pairs, not only Netherminds, and it is currently running. So expect that we will share some results, but before we finish those testing, maybe it will be better to not stop DevNet 8. I'm not sure what is, it should be anytime soon. Yeah.
Got it. What is the ETA of completion? Sometime this week?
Yeah, I think so. Basically, we are running all client pairs right now, and we are waiting for syncing.
Got it. Yeah. I think like maybe shooting for September 12 seems like a reasonable goal. Yeah, what do people think? I know, Terrence, you were questioning the timeline that Dencun was talking about on All Core Devs. I don't know what you think about DevNet 9 next week.
Yeah, for local DevNet, I don't really have much input. I think next week is fine. I'm just my feedback was more on overall timeline, whether it's at 2023 or early 2024. But yeah, we don't have to get into that this meeting. But I guess I want to confirm on the consensus layer side for DevNet 9, I don't think there's any change. Can anyone like confirm this with me? That is there any consensus layer client team? I just want to make sure I'm not wrong here.
Yeah, that's my understanding. Also, it seems like the big difference between 8 to 9 is that we'll not enshrine 4788 system contract.
Yeah. Yeah, therefore, yeah, then from us, there's, I mean, we just have 1 or 2 bug fixes we can easily get in by the end of the week. So yeah, next week sounds good to me.
It would, I know it's quite unrelated, but it would also be cool to have the Holoski releases by that day latest from each client teams, because we will want to make sure that Holoski is ready to go by the 15th.
Right.
Maybe even sooner would be probably better. It's quite unrelated though to DevNet 9.
Yeah, so definitely need to have the Husky releases out probably by the end of this week.
Yeah.
Preferably. How about we post on Discord saying that we'll try and target September 12 for a DevNet 9 launch and see if there's any feedback on that date, and if not, we just try and go for that.
Yeah, I think that's good. And I think we should push for September 7th for client releases.
Sounds good. I will. Sounds good. I'll post a message here right after this call and get some feedback.
Any preferences for validator sizes for DevNet 9, by the way? Because on DevNet 8, we run a very, very low number of validators, just so it's easy to add new ones and remove ones. But I'm just curious if we want to do a bigger test or if we're just going to leave the bigger test for Holoski, forking Holoski.
Did you just say
Any
fucking up
preferences?
Haleski?
Not fucking up, just checking if everything works.
Just kidding. Yeah, I don't have a preference. I don't have any preference. Does anyone have a preference on this?
I do have a preference on like we use some sort of builder and relayer for DevNet 9 before using a testnet, just because I feel like everything like things will break. I'd rather it break on DevNet, not during testnet. So the question is the builder and the relayer readiness. I'm not so sure about that. And whether even I think Hostkey is the first testnet, and whether there will be builder and relayer at Hostkey.
We are currently doing builder testing on Kurtosis, so hopefully it's going to be ready by next week. I cannot promise it. What we're going to be trying to push for is a Capella starting for DevNet 9. So we're going to be starting Shanghai, and Genesis time is going to be the same. And this is also not something that the MEV software supports right now. So this is going to be a breaking change for them also. But yeah, I totally agree that we would want to onboard MEV before we fork any testnets. We need to make sure MEV works before we start messing around with Holoski.
Mario?
Yeah, so one thing that I noticed is that I was testing the mock MEV, mock builder in the Kurtosis setup, and the problem there was that the MEV boost that sits in between the CL client and the mock builder and the builder I was writing, it was not ready for the nav, at least as last I checked last week. And what was happening was that my builder was building the nav payloads for the CL, and then when it sent them to the MEV boost, and then the MEV boost relate to the CL client, it stripped out all the nav related fields. So basically, what was ending up in the CL was just the Shanghai payload instead of the Cancun one. So that's a problem. I don't think we can. I mean, unless we remove MEV boost from kurtosis and from the DevNets, which I don't think it's really good idea anyway, to properly test, we cannot test unless MEV boost is updated. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I assume we want to get MEV boost updated though. Like that's the whole point. That they need to support the NAB. Otherwise, yeah, we are kind of halted.
Who's the main people that we need to talk to about getting them to support the NAB? Like, this seems like it needs to be kind of their number one priority. Is it just Metacris, or is there anybody else that would be working on this?
We do have a channel for Flashbot and MEV boost, and yeah, people are just quite unresponsive. So we've been trying to push for this in the past 2 months, and yeah, we haven't got as much support as we were hoping for.
I see, but it's mostly just like the ball is in their court at this point, and we're asking them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Exactly.
Let me make a note to follow up again with them. All right. Yeah, I guess that was kind of the last item also on the agenda, was just talking about builder testing readiness. It seems like we're doing some testing in kurtosis. I mean, I guess I don't really understand, like, if MEV boost doesn't support the NAB, then what exactly are we testing with kurtosis?
Well, the Flashbot guys are using kurtosis to test the MEV boost itself. So they are the ones that are pushing for this. So they can easily spin up a new DevNet locally on their machine and see if they can make MEV compatible with the NAB.
Okay, so the NAB, I see. So the NAB work is ongoing for them, and they're testing. Okay, I see.
So there's an open PR regarding this. I think this one.
Add the NAB types and flow. Wait.
It's for kurtosis though.
Oh, I see.
So once we manage to get it working in kurtosis, then we can be quite confident that it's going to be supported also for DevNet 9.
Got it. Okay. Let's follow up again with them. Try and add a little bit of pressure, and yeah, they need to be on DevNet 9. I don't think I agree. We need to not move to a public testnet before we're running the builder on the DevNet. Mario?
Yeah, so another update is that we are currently working on supporting the mock builder at least on Hive, so we can have regression testing there too. Basically just sort of sanity testing where we verify all the signatures that the CL sends back to the builder and all of that stuff, also including bad payloads built by the builder and those kind of sanity tests and sanity checks as in the form of regression tests in Hive. So there's that too. We can have that in parallel to kurtosis and in parallel to the DevNet.
Makes sense. This is testing specifically the builder API of the CLs, right?
Yeah. So the approach has been to have like the builder API interface tested in Hive. I don't know if anyone wants to chime in and let us know if we should include MEV boost, but I think this is another approach to testing without MEV boost, just to test the interface, builder API, the errors that can happen the MEV from the builder also. That's that sort of the mentality that we are going with Hive testing for the builder right now.
Yeah, we've talked about this a couple of times, and I do think this is the right approach for Hive. I don't think should be doing integration testing on every piece of the MEV stack in Hive. So yeah, if we have that implemented in Hive, and then we're able to run some of this builder MevBoost software on the DevNets and maybe in Kurtosis, that seems like the right amount of coverage that we should be providing for that software.
Yeah, and another thing is that it's a little bit more robust right now, the mock builder, as compared when it was testing in Shanghai. We're now verifying every single signature. This is related to the issue that was last found in the with MEV Boost and one of the seal clients. So right now we are trying to enforce checking every single thing that we can on the mock builder to make sure that nothing slips.
Great. Okay, that's most of the agenda that was set on the issue. Is there any other topics that people were hoping to discuss today?
Maybe just to point out some existing open PRs for Hive. One of them is the Interop builder we're working on, and the other one is just to improve the execution client engine API coverage. Some of the clients have pointed out some coverage that is missing, so we are including more tests in these two PRs that I submitted in the PM issue. Also, we're working on Python. Spencer pointed out some of the PRs we're working on. I don't know if you want to just mention. Yeah.
Yeah, so from the execution spec test side, Dan's been working on the transient storage tests for EIP 1158, and this should hopefully add some more coverage in addition to tests that I believe Dimitri added in the original Ethereum test repo. And we've also been working on updating the framework to generate invalid field tests for the engine API payload fields. So currently, when we generate tests, we don't have a way of generating them with fields that are deemed invalid by transaction tools. And for example, an overflown uint64 field. So we've been working on generating these types of tests specifically for the Dencun fields. And then ideally, once we get these working, we'll run these in the PySpec simulator. I think Mario also added a test for beacon route deployment. And so this will be for DevNet 9. It essentially tests that the expected beacon route contracts is not present in the state before the Cancun fork, and checks that the storage is not updated. And then, yeah, just to kind of, I guess, orchestrate with when everyone wants to change to DevNet 9, we have tests ready for it. So if September 7th is good, we can start running the Hive Cancun tests this Thursday. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for those updates, guys.
I have a question with regard to how the 4788 contract will be deployed. We at Ethereum JS are not clear about it because the sender that is there, do we have the credentials for it, or will we deploy it using some sort of a system transaction?
Yeah, in the EIP, there's actually a complete transaction body there. So you can see that the signature is included in that JSON. So if you're able to read the JSON value and encode it into RLP, it can actually just be sent over the network and it will be included in a block once the sender account is funded with ETH. So it's not a transaction that we have the private key, or it's not from an account that we have a private key for. it's more that the signature was chosen, and then obviously the using the EC recovery able to figure out who the sender would be. So it's kind of a one-time signature to send this transaction. Cool. Well, any last comments or questions on Dencun? Okay, let's call it. I will post this message on all court devs just mentioning the request for a September 7 client. I think it was September 7. Yeah, September 7 client release for Haleshki. Sorry, September 8 date for client releases for Haleshki, and targeting a September 12 launch of DevNet 9. And we'll see if there's any feedback on those dates. Thanks a lot for joining. We'll talk to you all next week.
Thanks,
Matt.
bye.
Thanks, bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.